Hi everyone, it's Cindy Lee, and I wanted to be a little more active on my page because with all of this social distancing, it can feel a little isolating to some people. And in the course of that, you may become a little more saddened in your disposition. So I want to share with you a few things that you might be able to do to help keep your spirits up during this time of unknowns, I guess is the best way to describe it. I had that awful feeling when they talked about those people who were in high risk categories and the high risk group if you were in that E group. And so that term really turned me off. So E for me I'm going to refer to it as enlightenment because that's a phrase that I got from my brother. And yes, Jeff, I'm talking about you. I am actually quoting you today. So if you are in that group and you have to be away from your normal routines where you might be out and about so that you aren't around all those groups and people, sometimes that can be a little depressing. You can get a little bit sad doing that or feeling a lot of unrest because you don't know what to do with yourself. So I want to share with you a few things that maybe you could do to help you stay more energized and feel good and connected with other people. There are a lot of sites out there talking about, when your kids are home from school, but for all of us, our kids are probably all grown and gone. So what are we gonna do with ourselves? Well, as part of my downsizing that I've been doing at our home, I have been going through hundreds of photographs. I had boxes of them in the house, and it has been very, very rewarding for me. For example, I would find old pictures of my siblings, and I'd maybe take a photo of that and send that to them and say, remember this? Maybe pictures of my parents who are no longer with me when we were doing things together, or when they were small children. Pictures of my children, my girls, when they were little and saying, do you remember this? And oh my gosh, I remember this time. So not only are you getting special memories as you go through that, but they are too. The other part of that is you are actually going through those things to decide which of those treasured photos you want to keep. Because if you're like me, I had about 15 of about the same shot, and probably nobody needed 15 of that photo, so I could keep one and get rid of the other 14. So not only do you work on your downsizing, but you also have an opportunity to connect and cheer some other people up. I also was thinking about how would my parents feel? They would have been in their 80s if they had to go through this. So it would have been very difficult for them because they were on the go people. They went almost every single day. So how would I deal with that if they were in their home where they couldn't get back out, or they couldn't be with one of their children, which they love spending time with, and they weren't really up on Facebook. So one of the things, they did have phones, and with Zoom conferencing, and I'm sure there are other features out there like FaceTime or WhatsApp, but with Zoom conferencing, one of the things I love about it, it's free, just are those other two programs I mentioned to you, but you can also see the faces of all of the people. So if my parents had been where they couldn't see that, then I would want to set up a Zoom call, and you could see everybody's individual face so that they feel just a little bit more connected. Because yes, it's important for you to check in with them, to call, send messages, whatever, but being able to see your face, and if you're calm, you can help put their nerves to calm them down if they're a little bit worked up about what's going to happen and how things are going. So two things that I say you can work on. Number one, go through some of your old papers. It's like, I don't think I was a paper hoarder, but that's another thing that you could do. I had copies of my insurance renewal for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years. Well, we don't need that. I only needed the current one. So my shredding bag has grown by leaps and bounds, but my filing cabinet is getting thinner and thinner. So if you've kept up any of those projects that maybe is going through some old things, then pull those out and start to do those and just really feel a sense of accomplishment. So during this time where you are at home, take this time and make those projects and feel really good about what you're doing and the accomplishments you've made, and stay connected, because truly staying connected is really what it's all about, but it doesn't have to all be in person. Remember, if life gives you limes, be the light.